Hi guys, Johnny here. Benvenuti. Welcome to my kitchen. I just got back from a good exercise walk and I'm hungry. So I have been having a certain thing on my mind. So today I'm going to make some gnocchi with a very quick San Marzano tomato, garlic, and basil sauce. So you see me making potato gnocchi and they're a little time consuming. You have to be careful with the potato and all of that, make sure there's not a lot of moisture. So the ricotta gnocchi are very good and they're a lot easier to make. So let me show you what we got going. I broke an egg in this big bowl. We got lucky, it was a double yolk, so I'm happy about that. Over here I have some ricotta. This is Galbani. I like this brand. They say they're number one in Italy. I don't know about that, but I use it here a lot. So I've got this in a mesh strainer over this pot so that I can drain out any of that excess liquid. So we've got that, and it's really pretty simple. I've got half a cup of grated Parmigiano, and then we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of flour. Normally for this, I use unbleached all-purpose, but I just got a big bag of Caputo 00 flour. This is what they use in Italy to make the pizza. So I think this might even make the gnocchi a little bit lighter. So I'm using the 00 today. And then for the sauce, very simple. I squashed some San Marzano tomatoes. I got some fresh organic basil and a couple of cloves of garlic, a little olive oil. And then on the side over here, I was cooking with escarole, and I think I told you I saved some of those white, light green inner leaves, and I'm going to make a little salad with extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, and a little balsamic vinegar. I think that'll be a nice companion to the gnocchi. So let me just mix this egg up a little bit. And to that, I'm going to add the ricotta. I don't want to waste nothing. And then in here, let me come over there. You're going to get some of this liquid in here, and that's what you want to get rid of. So I had already drained this a little bit before, so this is the second time. So there's still a little bit more moisture in there, and that's what I wanted to get rid of. And to this, we're going to add the grated Parmigiano. And let me mix these wet ingredients together first. I'm going to start using my whisk here, and I might switch over to my rubber spatula. Let's see how it goes. But I just want to get those wet ingredients everything well incorporated here before I start adding the 00 flour. So this is looking pretty good. Everything's same color. It's a good indication that everything's mixed well together. And because I had a double yolk, this is really golden. I hope you can see that color. Now we'll start adding the 00 flour. So this is a quarter cup. We need 3 cups. I mean 3/4 of a cup. I'm sorry. So let me just get this out. 1, 2, and 3. So we'll see how this is. If I have to ask more because it's too wet, I'll do that. Oh, this looks like it's coming out pretty good. So the one thing with this, two things I gotta tell you. Before you even start trying to make this, I think I'm done with this whisk. Let me see if I can get this off here and switch to this to the spatula. So before you even start this, you gotta drain the ricotta in a mesh strainer. So about an hour before at least, strain it before you even start to do anything here. That's the first thing. But after you get ready that hour before, you're going to be all set, and this is going to go very quickly. Let me finish this with the rubber spatula here. So you want to get to a consistency where this dough is tacky, not not sticky, because you got to work with it. But you want it tacky because you don't want to keep adding flour. That's only going to make it get denser and less tender. And the other thing you do after you put everything together is you put it in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes just to let that harden up a little bit. It'd be easier to work with. And while we're waiting for that, I'm going to show you the sauce. Okay, our ricotta gnocchi dough is safe in the kitchen, so let's move on. But let me get rid of some of this stuff. I already showed you the Parmesan. I don't need this right now, so I'll put it over here. I'm going to need the olive oil. Okay, let me put this over here. So I'll turn this on. Get some heat going there. So I always tell you about canned tomatoes, the San Marzano that are imported from Italy. And this one is grown in that certain area with under government regulation. It gets DOP to guarantee its quality. This brand, Rega, I really like. And sometimes I'll see cans like this without the DOP. If I know the brand that's consistently good, sometimes I'll buy the one without DOP because, as I've told you before, this is grown within that government improved area. But on the other side of the road, outside of that area, they're growing the same San Marzano, the same soil, the same environment, and they're cheaper. So every once in a while, I'll take a chance on one of those cans too. But usually I like the DOP, the dope tomatoes. Good, the board's getting, let me turn this down a little bit. The board's getting cleaner. So here's our garlic. And this is just going to go in there whole. So let me give it a little baboon action here. Baboom, baboom. I want to break that up a little bit so that it infuses the olive oil when it goes in the pan. This one needs one more baboom. Okay, put this over here. Let's peel these. The paper will come right off. Here's one. And here's the second one. Oop, I see a little part I don't like over here. Let me cut it off. Okay, I think we still got enough. Okay, let me see where we are. We're on medium heat. I'm going to put a couple of 3 teaspoons of olive oil in here. Let that heat up. In goes the garlic. Let that start toasting and infusing the oil. And I'm not hearing any sizzle, so I may have to increase this heat a little bit. I just noticed I forgot my wooden spoon. Let me get that too. See, this is just like being with me in the kitchen. I got to go get stuff, come in and out of the shot. Well, what are you going to do? Okay, so now I'm getting a little sizzle here. And you know, sometimes I like to tilt the pan so that the garlic is totally immersed in that oil, because that's what we want this garlic to do, is start infusing the oil. And it looks like it's doing its job. Let me turn this one over. You don't want this to burn. You just want to take a little bit of color, like that, and like this one. Okay, so I think we're ready to add the San Marzano tomatoes. You're going to hear a nice sizzle when it goes into the hot oil. So, you know, be careful. Stand back when you're adding the tomato to the pan with the hot oil. It'll spatter a little bit. So just going to get this going. I'm seeing if there's any really big pieces of the tomato that didn't squash good, and I'm going to break those up. This is a good beginning. That oil is starting to get the golden color as it mixes with the tomato. Now, like I already told you in my Lunch with Johnny series, I ain't doing this to the same proportions that are in the recipe that's printed in the post, because I'm just making this for me. So with this dish, even if I don't cook all of them, I can always lay them out in this baking pan over here and freeze them. And then after they're frozen, I'll put them in a freezer bag and I'll have something to enjoy later. The only thing is if you're using the frozen, take them right out of the freezer, they go right into boiling water. Don't let them thaw. Let me see how my water's doing over here. Oh, it's coming up nice. We're going to give it some water. The other thing I want to tell you, in case I forget, that with the gnocchi, because they're pretty delicate, you don't want this at a rapid boil, because that force of the rapid boil could damage the gnocchi. They're pretty delicate. So about a tablespoon of sea salt goes in, and we'll put this back over here and maybe even turn it down a little bit because we got to make the gnocchi. Okay, the sauce is looking good. I'm trying to cook off some of that liquid. You see how it's getting thicker? I can cut right through the pan. That's what you want to do. So this is going well. And we're going to put in some organic basil. Look at those leaves, beautiful. I think because they're so big, you may only need a couple or three. Yeah, I'll go for one more. Good. Get rid of this stuff. I got my compost pail back here and another one for trash. Okay, let's get the gnocchi dough out and see how that's doing. Good, the bowl's nice and chilled. So now I want to see if I got the texture I want and it's not too sticky. And just cleaning off the spatula here, I think it may be too sticky. Not so bad. But I got to get rid of this board and make some room here because I'm gonna roll out the gnocchi here. I think that's going to be enough room. So Flour your board, because this we're gonna roll out the gnocchi. Okay, this is done, right? How quick was this? So I'm shutting the heat, making sure that basil's nicely wilted in there, and I'm gonna move it off the flame. Very versatile sauce. If you want some marinara, basil, garlic, and San Marzano, this one, you don't have to cook it a long time. Let me turn this out. See how stiff it is? I'm having a hard time getting the spatula under. Just put it here for now. And we'll see after we have to make any adjustments. I'm thinking it may need a little bit more flour. But we'll see. Hey, I got to do dishes. The sink is getting full already. Okay, see what we got here. Oh, not so bad. Still a little sticky. Let me see if I just roll it around in this dough. It's going to give me the consistency I want. You don't want to mess with the dough, like knead it, because that's just going to make the gnocchi denser. And we don't want to do that. Okay, see? It's not sticking to my hand anymore. Let me just take a little bit off here and test it. Put a little flour in my hand. Let me see if I can make a rope and actually cut it. And it'll pick up a little flour as I'm doing this. Yeah, I think it feels pretty good. Let me cut off a couple. So this is about, it's going to be about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. And then I want about 3/4 of an inch going that way. And that one's a little small. We'll put that back. So I said these were belly button gnocchi. So take your thumb and stick it in the middle. Give it a belly button. Like that. And that one I'm putting back to. And this one too. Okay, so I got a couple over here. Let me show you what they look like. And they're feeling pretty good to me. But you never know. Before I'm going to make a whole bunch of them, I'm going to test these two. I'm going to see if they stay together if I put them in the water. If they don't, I'm in big trouble. So let's see. The water's at and turn it up a little bit. It's at it's not boiling, it's at a simmer. Okay, pray for me. They'll drop to the bottom and then they'll come up to the surface. So far, so good. They're staying together there in the water. So I'm just going to wait for them to come up and make sure we don't have any problems. And just going to move them a little bit, make sure they're not sticking. I think they're looking pretty good. So that's a good sign. I may want a little bit more flour on my board. Spread this out a little bit. And then over here, I floured this cookie sheet because as I make them, I'll put them over there. So I'm just taking off a piece, roll it into a ball, move it around here, and then just roll it out into a rope. And if you got too much flour, you can just move it out of your way. So again, I want this maybe about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. That looks good. Hey, one of them came up already. Aspetta. Let's see how we're doing. When they come up, you want to let them stay in the water another minute or two until they're fully cooked. But these structurally, they help together. I'm going to get a little plate over here so I can taste them. So that water's just at a simmer, so I just turned it up a little bit. And we'll give these another few seconds. But I think they're going to be done. Oh, this is quick. Let me take one out. The belly button's not showing. Okay, I'm going to taste this. Good. I get this one out. Give it a little sauce. Okay, I think we're in business. So let's start these. I'll do one rope at a time. So again, about maybe 3/4 of an inch. Like that. Give them a belly button, throw them in the flour over there. And we want to make sure that these don't stick together. So as that pan fills up, I'll keep moving them around. And they'll dry out a little bit, which is fine. Okay, here's that bunch. Let's do another one. This is feeling a little wet here, so I'm going to give it, this is the inside of that ball. So I'm going to give it a little bit more flour as I'm rolling it out here. Nice. So you can see the texture's good, it's staying together. That's what we want to see. So this is going to be much too much for me to eat for lunch. So I'll probably end up freezing some of these. I'll only cook what I'm going to eat today. A little bit more flour in here too. Don't worry about the flour here. It's not going to add to the density of the gnocchi because it'll just keep them from sticking and not affect the texture of the gnocchi. It'll, when I put them in the hot water, that'll come off. Let me see. I think we got 2 more ropes to do. But I'm feeling, again, the inside here is a little tacky. So I'm going to give it more flour. You just have to adjust as you're going along. The dough on the outside was a little drier. Inside, I'm feeling that it's a little tacky. So I'm adding more flour here. I'll put this all out in case I need it. Here we go. Ooh, this is a big rope. Move it over a little bit. Here we go. Getting good. Sure it's all about the same size. And we'll cut them. You can use a knife. I like to use a bench scraper to do this. Give them their belly buttons. Yeah, that little bit of flour helped them. Put these in here. And I think we got one more rope to go. Good, because I'm running out of room over here in this baking pan. Okay, I think we got one more rope. Again, give it a little bit more flour. It was sticky. We want it tacky, not sticky. Here we go. Make sure it's uniform all the way across. And give them a belly button when you're done. That's all. See if I can fit these in here. I may need a little bit more flour around the edges. Again, don't worry about adding the flour over here. It's going to come off when it hits the water. I'll move these a little bit. Make some room. Come on. Got a few more to put in here. You go over there, you go over there, you go over there, you go over there, that one over there. Make room for this guy. Let your buddies in. Okay, these last two. And that's it. Let me come over there and show you what they look like at this point. Make sure I'm proud of these belly buttons before I come over there. So that's the way they're going to look. You got to be careful. I can't get too close to the ring lights or else it changes the color. So this is it. I'm going to clean up this board a little bit. And then I'm going to increase the heat on the water. See the scraper? I didn't use it for this purpose, but now I'm using it for what it was made for. It's a versatile tool. This is one of my favorite tools in the kitchen. Okay, I'm moistening some flour, but that's okay. Going into compost, and it'll end up being gold dirt. I think I can bring this board back for now. Now I've got to keep an eye on the water and make sure that it's at a rapid simmer. Needs to come up just a little bit more. But how long did that take, right? It's pretty simple. Come on. Let me put this lid on to help it along. So gorgeous day here in San Francisco. Sun's out, no wind, nice temperature, a little bit on the cool side, but that's okay because I was out for a brisk walk. It was just delightful. It was even getting a little too hot in the sun, so I'd have to go across the street and walk up for a block in the shade. I'm talking to some of my friends back in New Jersey, New York City. Man, they've had a rough time. Snow, snow, and more snow. They had so much snow when they were shoveling, the piles were so big they didn't have enough room to put any more. So luckily the other day it started to warm up and rained, and so those big mounds of shoveled snow were starting to disappear. I got to, what do they say? A watch pot never boils. I don't want to boil, but I want to simmer, so I got to wait. So with this is just the inside of the escarole that was left over after I cooked with it. And I'm simply going to dress this with extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of a good balsamic vinegar. I feel like having a sweet note. That should do it. Freshly grated black pepper and some sea salt. Yeah, as soon as I toss this, them gnocchi are going in. So normally with a meal like this, I'd eat the gnocchi first, and I'll have the salad to end the course. But we'll see. Maybe when I plate it up, I'll put the salad on the same plate. Usually I don't do that. But you can break rules. Come on, water. Here we go. There we go. Now I got to turn it down a little bit. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's just at a rapid simmer. Because like I said, the force of that rapidly boiling water, these are delicate. Okay, how many am I going to have today? Let's see. One, maybe about a dozen. I don't want to be a pig. See how this fills up the bowl. Oh, these are really delicate. I think the ones I tasted were very light. And hopefully these will come out 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, baker's dozen. So I'm just going to put these in gently. And we're just going to let them cook. They'll come up from the to the surface. And then when they get to that point, we're going to let them go for another minute or two to let them fully cook. So as with all pasta, I always like to give them a stir to make sure they're not going to stick. And I'm going to increase the temperature here a little bit. Oh, I thought one was sticking to the other one, but it ain't. That's good. That's a good sign. Okay, so we'll get ready over here because they're going to go right from the water right into the pan. But I'm not going to turn the heat back on right yet because I want to show you the consistency that we got to here. So I think that's going to be good. If it's too thick when I try to coat the gnocchi, I'm going to save a little bit of the pasta water in case I have to loosen the sauce. Okay, here they come. Walked away for a second, and they're all starting to pop up. Come on, boys. Let's go. Nice. Okay, so let's see. 48. I'm going to give them another minute or so, and I think we're going to be ready to eat. Oh, I'm so excited. It's a quick meal. If I make the gnocchi, you gotta cook the potatoes. Make sure they don't get wet, either in the oven or in water with their jacket. You gotta put them through a ricer, spread them out, let all the steam and moisture. Not on. That's just the beginning of it. I love to make them. In fact, I'm going to give you a link to where I made potato gnocchi, and the reason is there's 3 other sauces there, and I'm going to give you another link for a 4th sauce. I think I got gorgonzola. I got a Trappanese pesto. It's made with tomatoes and roasted almonds, no basil. And I got a gorgonzola cream sauce. And then on the other one, I got a sage burnt butter sauce. So I'll give you the links there so you got 5 sauces to choose from. Ooh, Maron, they're all up. Let me see. I'm going to take another one out to test it. Good thing I made a baker's dozen. Got a little bit of sauce. Let it cool off. Mm. Mm. So tender. You get that nice flavor of the Parmigiano. I think these guys are ready to go in the sauce. So let me turn this on. You don't want these to stay in here too long because they'll start breaking apart. So I'm shutting the heat. I'm going to start taking them out. And if a little water comes with them, so be it. That's okay. Oh, these look good. And you can see in the in the water here. Nothing broke off. It's absolutely clear. You just move these around, coat them with the sauce. See, I can move them around. I don't need any more heat on the sauce. Turn them over. Nothing's gonna break. Get over. You two, let's go. Behave. Okay, I ain't messing with these anymore because I'm hungry. Good. Let me just get this one to turn over. I'm going to come over so you can see them. Then I'm going to plate them up. Look at that. Ooh, this pan's heavy. Nice, huh? Okay. I'm going to get my plate. And we're going to be eating. I'm going to use this tool to get them out. You know what? I'm going to eat this in a smaller plate. Then I'm going to leave that in that dish and have some of that when I have my way with the gnocchi. Mm. Okay, here's a few. That's enough. Finish it off. I use Parmesan on the inside. I'm using in my little piece of pecorino. I got to buy more down at Palomari Deli because I want a little bit of the stronger taste of the pecorino. Let's see. Look at these babies. What do you think? Let's see. A little of this sauce. Oh, cooked perfectly. They're so tender. They're like clouds. I don't even have to use my teeth. They just break apart as you're chewing them. The tomato sauce, simple, just a little basil and garlic flavoring, perfect. The recipe for a bigger uh, batch of all of these, you'll see in the post. The recipe's there with all the details. Well, let me come over here because I got to have at least one more, and then I'm going to taste the salad. Hmm. Let me see. No, I don't think that's going to show. I was going to show you how they look on the inside, but maybe this one. Fully cooked. Look at nice. These over here, these are going to go right in the freezer. When they're frozen, I'll put them in a freezer bag and maybe portion them out and get maybe three more meals out of this. You see how my escarole tastes. So these inner leaves are sweeter than the outer leaves. You know, escarole's got that bitter sweet contrast. Oh, this balsamic vinegar, absolutely beautiful. Okay, I'm not going to chew in your ear. You guys have to make this. It's really simple. They're fun to make, easy. How long did it take us? Without me walking around putting things in the sink and everything, maybe 20 minutes. If you're efficient, you can get it all done in about that time, maybe a half hour. Ciao tutti. I hope you enjoyed this newest episode of Lunch with Johnny, and we'll keep them coming. Let me know what you think about this episode. Give me some hints, some comments, some criticism. What can I do better? And I'll be back in the kitchen again soon, but maybe a day or two later. I had to wear my Da Flora t-shirt. I haven't seen Jen and Darren for a while. It's a reminder. Tomorrow I ain't cooking. I'm getting either takeaway or if it's a nice day, we're going to eat outside in their beautiful patio area that they built where the parking spaces used to be at the curb. So far, God bless. North Beach is holding up. I'm holding up too. I hope you are. See you soon. Ciao.